I'm Augustus, and I intend to be President of the United States in 2028. I'm standing here on the grounds of the Georgia State Capitol in Atlanta because this is where the pulse of this state, the gateway to the New South, is strongest. This building behind me, with its shining dome of Dahlonega gold, was built to represent the wealth and resilience of the people. But for far too many Georgians, that gold has become a barrier. It's a place where the voices of the masses go in, but only the interests of the rich and the well-connected come out. Today is day 5 of my 50+1 Capitals tour. My plan seems obvious and necessary to me, but here in the halls of power, and for other potential presidential candidates, it could be considered revolutionary. The plan is to visit every capital in this country, including Honolulu and Juneau, over the course of a total of 60 days. Not to give motivational speeches, but to listen to the people, and hopefully to truly hear what problems the general public needs fixing. Georgia is a state of incredible contrast and deep-rooted strength. It is a land where the Blue Ridge Mountains meet the rolling red hills of the Piedmont, stretching down through the vast pine forests of the wiregrass country to the golden isles of the Atlantic coast. Georgia has always been the heart of the South and a crucible for change. To lead, one must respect the hustle of the A and the quiet endurance of the rural farmland. And to be leader of the whole country, you have to actually know the whole country. You have to breathe in the crisp fall air of the Northeast, feel the heat in the South and Southwest, and stand in awe of the Great Plains. You need to admire the magnificent views of the Pacific Coast Highway, cross the mighty Mississippi, and traverse the passes of the rugged, majestic Rockies. You cannot lead a people you do not know, and you cannot know the people from inside a speeding motorcade, a high-flying jet, or a gilded office. Having lived in 7 states and visited all 50 states at least once before, I feel I have a glimmer of understanding of who the people of the United States truly are. But you can never stop learning. So, I am visiting each state again, and I plan to do this over and over again during the course of my campaign and during my presidential term. Now, you might be thinking, who is this guy? Why him? As I said, I'm Augustus. I was born in New York State 64 years ago. Like you, I've spent much of my life working. I've seen presidents and congresses come and go. I've seen industries rise and fall. I've watched as the people who keep this nation functioning are treated like sheep or cattle, as resources, not people. But is he qualified, you may be wondering? The Constitution says I am. The more important question is, what do you mean by qualified? Think about the people who currently meet in the Georgia Assembly and in Washington, D.C. How many of them are qualified in your eyes? Well, qualified to me means how many of them are actively working to make your lives better. It seems to me that many representatives have forgotten the primary requirement of the job, remembering who they work for. They shouldn't work for the lobbyists. They shouldn't work for their party, and they definitely should not be working for the ultra-rich. Your representatives, including the President of the United States, should work for you, period. I stand for the people, not for corporations that treat their employees like line items, not for the ultra-rich who view the law as a suggestion, not for the special interests who believe that everyone else should live the way that the special interests think they should. I still believe in the America our founders envisioned, a land of opportunity and freedom, not where we find ourselves now, in a land of glass ceilings and locked doors. Why consider an unconventional, unaffiliated candidate like me? Maybe it's because you're exhausted. You're sick of being forced to choose between generic candidate A and generic candidate B, 2 sides of the same coin, twin men and women born of different mothers. Maybe it's because you want to be able to support someone who not only sees the United States as a beacon of hope rather than a global punchline, but for someone who also has the will to push for the laws and policies that will get us shining brightly on that hill once more. The motto of Georgia is wisdom, justice, and moderation. It's written right on the pillars of the state seal. But looking at our modern politics, it feels like we've traded wisdom for sound bites, justice for influence, and moderation for extremism. It's time we moved these principles back into our laws, our economy, and our daily lives. I'm headed to Tallahassee, Florida tomorrow. I have many miles and many state capitals ahead of me. If you see me on your state house steps or grounds, don't just take a picture. Come over and say howdy. Tell me what's keeping you up at night. Tell me what you want for your children. I'm Augustus, and I'm here to listen. I'll see you on the steps where you live. Okay, let's try this. Let's move this a little bit closer. Okay, take two with sunglasses. To represent and for other potential presidential candidates, Juneau, and to be Tallahassee